Hello, everybody. We're here. We're here all day, both ways. It's your host, Andrew Hall. With me in the side seat tonight is Jordan. How you doing tonight, Jordan Rains?
I am doing good, well. I don't know what the right terminology is there. Probably well. I'm doing well. It's morning for us, but maybe it's evening for the folks that see it. But yeah, it's good to see you, Andrew. We've been chatting here in the lobby for a few minutes, having a good time, and I'm excited to see what kind of moments we can make here on this podcast.
Oh, I like the way you put that. Yeah, let's make some moments, right? We're talking about All Day. NFL All Day, if you're not familiar, is a platform where you can go buy the actual moments that happen in the NFL, in the games that you watch on TV, in those fantasy relevant moments that win you your weeks, right? And what we do a lot here on both ways is we talk offense, defense, we talk fantasy, we talk all day, we talk a lot of different things in a lot of different ways. So appreciate you joining us here. Obviously, we're going to be getting into some more of the introductory stuff still here as we're in the off season. This week, we're going to be talking a little bit about the marketplace. But before we do that, I want to talk a little bit about like any news or any updates. The only thing I really have here on the show sheet is that it's been kind of a quiet week without the playbook. And this is that weird gap in the season where the draft is over and the season isn't up for another, few months at this point. And we're kind of just waiting on things to happen. And so NFL All Day did something kind of different. They almost always have an active playbook going at some time outside of the starter playbook. If you're brand new, that's definitely one you can compete. But once you compete that, it disappears. You can't do it again. And so now at this point, where we're recording right now, and end of middle of May, whatever you want to call it, there is no active playbook right now. And I guess I'm just curious, Jordan, the last couple of playbooks that finished, did you participate in those at all? Did you pay attention to those at all?
I honestly have not been doing any of my playbooks the way I should. I kind of have a weird mindset right now where I know it's a lull, so I'm not like diving into the motions of it right now. I have some money and some other NFTs, so I'm kind of waiting for them to hit certain exit points, and I'm going to pull out and then kind of put some more money into these moments. And also, I kind of want to see what I kind of want to get into the flood of that first couple of weeks of moments too. Maybe even some preseason stuff. So maybe that'll change with us talking about the marketplace today. Maybe I'm going to see some things that are going to get my juices flowing. Maybe I'll go exit some other positions and NFTs and slide over here. But I have not really actively pushed into achieving any of my playbooks yet, if I'm being completely honest. Don't hate
Not
me.
a problem. No, and that's why I appreciate the honesty because I think you're not alone. There's a lot of people out there that are in that same kind of boat, right? There's a couple of groups in the Discord that I'm involved in. One of them is related to sets, which we'll get into next episode. But the other one is the DGen. They're just the DGens, right? We're the people that buy tons of moments and get kind of ridiculous and just keep collecting, even though there's no reason to. And I feel like the playbooks in most situations, especially in the off season, are kind of geared toward the very active users and the people that are in there and going crazy to kind of keep them engaged. But they're also a really great way to keep people coming back to the site. And so having a gap and having a week without a playbook is an interesting move. I know it got some different discussion points going on the Discord and on Twitter and stuff, about like if that's the good idea, if that's a smart move. But at
Mm-hmm.
this point, we're done with series 2. It's officially locked and loaded. It's over. It's done. Those series are all minted. That all those moments are done. So what we're moving into now is this time of the season, which is what's called the historical season, where we start to go in the off season. Now, historical 2 is what we're releasing and what we're seeing come out. And we'll talk about that a little bit and we'll get into the marketplace. But the main thrust of this though, at this time of year is just like, let's reset. Let's kind of get things together. Like you said, let's move some things around. Let's find other things that excite us. Take a break because if you're in NFL all the time and you're in NFL all day, all the time, it can burn you out, right? So this actually, I think this break was a good thing. I think there's a lot of users that came to the platform that were like, but this is it's a lot to do these playbooks and submit all these moments and to go find these things on the marketplace, like we're going to talk about. But generally speaking, I like a playbook for kind of something to do. But if you miss out at this time of year, you're probably fine. So I don't want to make it seem too crazy, but I don't think you're missing tons. The moments that came out of the last playbook were all commons. So it's not like you missed on so many, crazy moments or anything. They were good moments. Don't get me wrong, and
Mm-hmm.
we may talk about those at some point on the series here. But for all in all, I mean, generally anyway, what I think is the best part about this is the utility of playbooks. And if you completed any of the playbooks or kind of paid attention to any of those playbooks in the past, you've known you have to go almost every time, have to go buy moments to compete in those. So that's what we're going to be talking about today in the marketplace. So first down for us this week is good, just basically introducing the marketplace and talking about its functionality. So I'm actually going to pull that up because I've got it open here. And I want to make sure we at least see it a little bit because I think it's worth kind of rolling through. So bear
Excellent.
with us here while we watch. But how much time have you spent on the marketplace yourself, Jordan?
That's probably where I've spent the most time, just because I like cruising the moments. I like seeing, the various, they have so many players. The NFL, if you're fantasy minded, you really focus on a core group of top end players. I mean, that's just reality. But the NFL is an all 22 team. There's 22 guys out there doing things. So when you get into these actual moments, you get to focus in on individual reps and individual plays of individual players. So that to me has been really interesting to just kind of get in there and look at the various moments, So that's probably, like I said, that's probably where I've spent the most time. I've been, I cruise some not historical moments, but moments I think might be significant later down the road. Like Sauce Gardner, since he was so good this year, as a rookie, it stands to reason that he will have a good career. So I want to kind of familiarize myself with his moments, which ones they have as common, which ones they have as not common. TJ Watt, during the year that he, tied Michael Strahan's 22 and a half sack record, I went out of my way to go look and see what the various prices were of these sacks. And shockingly, his record-setting sack was pretty dang cheap. I don't know if it still is now. I need to add it to my collection, but that's the kind of thing I look for. Is I'm looking for players and moments that I'm trying to kind of familiarize myself with the price ranges and which moments they have, because not every moment does end up on here. They obviously want the best and the best ones, but I try to think of which moments have a narrative value, and then I try to go look for them, look at them, see what they're see how many have been burned, see when they came out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's, like I said, that's probably where I've spent the most time, if I'm being honest, within the ecosystem.
Makes total sense. And what I actually wanted to do here was walk you through how I use the marketplace. And we'll kind of briefly go through some of this. You can see at the top here, if you're looking on screen on YouTube, you've got moments and packs and team NFTs, all three different things that you can buy in the marketplace. We talked a lot about moments. We talked about packs last week. We'll get into team NFTs maybe down the road. That's kind of a rare one. And it's not something that has, in my opinion anyway, a lot of utility anymore. That was kind of something they started out that is kind of fizzled. But here in the moment section, if you look, it sorts it by newest. You can see some great moments here right out of the gate. You got Jamar Chase draw it up, Series 2, and New Orleans, Cincinnati. Love that moment. That's definitely going to be a moment of the week for us. That was a challenge reward moment, as the badge notes here. What that means is there was an actual playbook challenge that week that said if you can complete this playbook, we'll give you this moment, and however many complete it, get the moment. It's mint to completion. So all the draw it up.
405 people completed that playbook.
Bingo. And so all of them got that moment as completion for their playbook. Right.
Ooh, that's awesome.
So now it's selling for $53.
I was gonna say, I'm looking at that. So there's only 405 of them. Can we see how many? Only one has been burned. One moment burned.
Only one has been burned, which is pretty rare. Again, just looking at some of these top ones, you can see like this one is a Deontay Johnson, not a debut, $2 moment. I mean, we're not going to open them all because it bogs the whole thing down. But this one's got 1,200 moments burned, right? So there's a lot of these that have already been burned. Next over here, we got Nyheim Hines, all-day debut from Series 1, $2. And again, 2,100 have been burned. So there's only about 8,000 of these left, right? So you can kind of get some of that quickly just by scrolling. And you can see here's Tyreek Hill, right? Well, the way I use this a lot of times is I go to filters and I open this thing up and I say, all right, well, what am I looking for? Well, let's say I want to find Series 1 moments and I want to find commons. I'm going for cheap guys that are debuts. Let me just kind of filter the moments based on that, right? And it automatically will do it by newest. I almost always will switch this to lowest ask, low to high. Let's kind of get clear with the words here. So that way you can kind of see, again, these are the cheapest moments on the site right now. These are the easiest ones to get. These are all debuts.
The most burnable.
They're all,
moment,
well,
right?
sort of, right? They're all debuts. They're all from Series 1. In my opinion, Series 1 debuts are where you're going to see the most bang for your buck. And these are players that you might say, well, Mike Gesicki, he's going to be around for a while. Maybe I buy his moment for $2. And again, you can go in and actually see these moments, right? But here's where, again, Robbie Anderson, Chosen Anderson, I don't think he has a lot of value.
Robbie Anderson, I never heard of that guy.
2,500 moments burned on that one. Miles Bryant, this is a low mint set, the make the stop set. So that's like a limited edition set. So there aren't as many released on that common. That could be a nice one to get. But this is kind of where I would spend a lot of my time on the early days to get like, well, who do I think is going to be valuable this year? Darnell Mooney's all-day debut, $2. Only 1,900. I mean, 1,900 have been burned only, but still, there's 8,000 of those out there. I can get one for $2, right? So this is where I like the marketplace to kind of a way to help you shop and find some moments that maybe, this is your bottom barrel, cheap bin shopping kind of moments. Well, what if you wanted to go find something a little bit different? So let's clear all these filters and let's start over. Let's say, all right, well, I'm looking for a rare moment. Jordan, what's your favorite football team? I don't know if we've heard about this yet.
Steelers. I'm actually, while you're talking, I'm watching a common Joe Schobert, Steelers legend Joe Schobert interception.
Perfect. That
This
totally
is
fits.
amazing because it's just like, oh, I forgot.
Well,
Joe
so
Schobert was a Steeler for like 6 or 7 weeks. Oh, he
yeah,
had an
so
interception. That
let's
helped us
do this.
win
Let's
the game.
do rare Steelers moments. Again, sort lowest to highest on lowest ask. We can go in here and see what's available, right? So we got this Deontay Johnson moment for $22. 312 of almost 1,200 have been burned. This James Washington debut, only 224 of those have been burned, but again, $23. You got Chase Claypool here. And again, 237. These are series one. Well, not all, they're all series 1 and 2. There's a Franco Harris moment here for 24
I was going to say,
his
I want a
debut,
Franco
right?
Harris
First moment. Exactly. So this is where I like going to this and saying, like, all right, pick your favorite team. Let me find some of the rarer ones and see. And again, 22, 24 bucks. That's not bad for a moment, right? Just to flip this around. If you're really
keep it, no, 100%.
exactly. Let's flip this around the other way and say, what's the most expensive rare? Let's flip this high to low. Oh, now we got a Najee Harris all-day debut, rookie mint. Like, of course, that makes more sense. Only one moment of that has been burned because, my goodness, this is a good moment. $106, right? Joe Hayden, only $5.99 in this Game Changers moment. It's a debut. Only 5 have been burned, $57. But you get the point here. These are actually pretty good prices, right? This TJ Watt, draw it up. Again, it was a challenge award, a crafted award. This is actually a crafting challenge.
I need that.
But this was the same. Draw it up, mint to completion. Moment. Yep.
That's my challenge to myself. My challenge to myself is to possess every single TJ Watt moment by the end of 2023. Can we do it? Do you think I can do it, Andrew?
Let's do that. Let's clear these filters. Yeah, let's look.
Do the people think
I know we can do it, but I want to show you all those moments. You can go here, search by player. Let's search by player. Let's go to Watt. To TJ, not JJ, not Derek. TJ, right? He's a Steeler. Derek's a Steeler too, I guess. That could be possible. Yeah. So let's just filter for all the TJ Watt.
JJ could have been.
This is all of them.
Except for, that sly dog, old Kyler Murray, linked him out there to Arizona to ruin his career.
So here are the 4 TJ Watt moments currently on the platform, right? You've got 2 commons, which I own both of these. These are great moments. They've got, $4, $3, not a bad price. Then you've got this draw it up like we talked about for 56, and then a legendary player melt iconic series 1 for $850. So to own all the TJ Watt moments, you're going to have to get this one. And there's only 59 of them in existence.
Is this all that's out there?
These are the only 4 moments that are on the platform. These
are
the only 4 for now that are on the platform.
Let me see here. Okay, so I think that first one, that first common one, I think that's the one where he set the record. Or it's close.
I think it is too. And I would open it, but it's just going to slow us down. We're just going to assume you can go look this up. The point of this episode is more about the marketplace itself, right? And seeing like, well, what can I go find? If you got a player you want to find, you got a team you want to find, definitely the way to do this, right? And you can do this for other things too. And I just want to show this real quick too. There are some other filters I want to mention. Obviously, player and team and series we talked about. Sets, which we'll get into next week. You can filter by tier. Ultimate is out of 10, which is even crazier. Those are harder to find. You can filter by badge. If you want to find just debuts, like I did before, you can filter for that. You can put a price limit on things.
I have a request. Can we look at some team? Can we look at
we'll get that in just a second. Yep. So then you can go here by position and actually filter for defense, offense, like we were looking at, like pick your positions, which is kind of nice if you want to collect to certain punters. And then a play type too. You can say fumble recovery.
Can we time out? What's up? Can we look for Pat McAfee? Do we have Pat McAfee moments?
I don't think Pat McAfee's on here yet. But here's the thing: you can use this to find all of those things, right? So if you're here, let's just get out of this. We'll go back into the top.
Pat McAfee's the kind of guy that'll show up on this platform and buy all of his moments just out of nowhere.
Correct. Not on here. But you know who is on here? Who has bought his own moments? Is Odell Beckham Jr. Right. So let's look up Odell just for the sake of argument. Odell has bought his own moment. He has an ultimate and a legendary, I believe. Here's his ultimate, the catch.
$6.99.
Well, $6.99 is the legendary. Yeah, $13,000 for the ultimate moment.
Can you
imagine pulling
on that and it says there's 10 of them? Can you click on it?
There's 10 of them.
Where those 10 are?
You can't see, technically, you can't see who owns them in this marketplace. There's another tool that we'll get into called Own the Moment, OTMNFT.com. Or we can get into some of that down the road. But again, the point of this is to stay very top level here, Jordan, and just kind of looking at some of these options. And you can see how you can shop for moments, right? So if you want to go look at this offline and go pull some of these moments and see, hey, let's see what this guy is. Let's see what this moment is. You can notice too, Odell's got one of his rares burned, 126 of his common limited edition. He's got 45 of this common limited edition and none of the legendary and ultimate. So like very few people are burning Odell, right? So that's the point of this. You can go in here and filter for all these different things. We're not going to do every filter you want, Jordan. but you can definitely do this on your own and find a ton of fun stuff in here. And I do believe, honestly, these filters are really good for that.
So I have so many questions. I have one more question. So all those moments on Odell, they look like all 5 of them were Rams moments.
No, there were some. The ultimate was the Giants moment for sure.
Okay. But that's interesting to me. Why somebody like Odell, who's probably had a lot more moments, is there a reason that are they just slowly like rolling out more moments with every drop? So like, because it seems like TJ Watt and, Odell Beckham, I mean, top of the defensive chain, top of the offensive chain in their own, moments, in their moment, in their time, you'd think they'd have like 10, 15 moments, or I would think that, but they only have 5 and 6. So
let's explain. So here's the thing, right? And when Series 1 first came out, I believe there were almost 400 common moments. And think of these again like playing cards, like trading cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the marketplace now has all of these moments on it. And you can see already the value of some of those moments is $2, $3. So at that point, adding more moments isn't going to help the value of the ones that are currently out there, right? The moments are almost always based on utility in some regard. And then they'll do these historical series. Like this is from Historical 1, right? Which is what happened last summer. They did a lot of historical moments where they go back in time and release older moments. So during the season, they release moments of that season, and usually right after the season to kind of catch up from the season. And then in the off season, they'll release historical moments, which we're just now getting into as the historical 2 drops are about to come out. There's been a couple of historical 2s that have had crafting moments and challenges and things like that. But we're going to start to see a bunch of those new moments kind of flood the market. And again, while we're on the marketplace, while we're thinking about it, let's see what historical 2 moments are currently out, because we can go see that. Series 2 or series historical 2, apply filters. It'll show us every historical 2 moment there is currently on the marketplace right now. Right. So now we're seeing some of the like Aaron Donald. This is one that just came out this last week. Khalil Mack was another recent one. Torrey Holt, DeAndre Hopkins. These are all crafted challenges from this last set of playbooks. Right. Then you got some historicals. Right. These were released just earlier this calendar year. So in 2023, you've got Kansas City Chiefs when they beat San Francisco is now an ultimate for $9,000. Larry Zonka here, another classic historical moment. Right. So this is it, though. These are the moments that have been released in series or historical series 2.
I'm my brain, it's small, pretty beta, but it's slowly really sort of seeing not just the layers, but the grass in front of us. You know what I mean? Like what you're describing, it's all coming together in a way that even 2 or 3 weeks ago or a week ago it wasn't. So for instance, I'll just break it down like I'm seeing it. So when I saw those 4 TJ Watt moments, they've got a whole stack of moments, but how are we going to release them to the people? And that's where the playbooks come in. Maybe you have to burn a TJ Watt moment. We have to burn 50 of them to drop the next set or whatever.
Actually, I want to interrupt because you just nailed it. That TJ Watt draw it up moment, you had to burn, I think it was 5 of each of his common moments to get that rare moment. Dude, so like the idea was to make it more rare to get the rare.
My brain is clicking into place the level of not just depth, but breadth of what this is and what it is going to be. So like what it is right now. And I think that might be why it's why people are still a little bit, not in it. We haven't dove in, face first yet, but I'm literally in this moment, I'm becoming more excited because I'm seeing moments that aren't out yet still could come out. And if you know what you're looking for, preparing yourself to get that moment, I'm understanding the sort of the interactive pathway and the journey they're creating here. And it's really, really fascinating as it's kind of unwinding in my head.
So just to kind of use that same logic, my team is the Bengals, right? You can see them back here on the wall. I'm an unabashed Bengals fan. It's not new information.
Go Steelers!
That's fine. You guys have the rings. I'm not going to get angry. But I oftentimes would go in here and just sort by Bengals lowest to highest and say, all right, well, what moments are cheap? Obviously, Eli Apple. Nobody likes Eli Apple, right? $2 moment. He's got 5,000. This is a low mint common from the playoff. His debut, right? In that great game against Buffalo. 298 burn. Like, hey, $2, not a bad price for that. It's a debut, too. The debuts come in handy for burning sometimes. You got Trey Flowers. You got Joe Mixon, right? Tyler Boyd. I love this Tyler Boyd moment. I was at this game. I love this moment, the white tiger and all this. So, like, again, I'm buying all these moments. They're dirt cheap, But then if you sort of buy high to low, this is kind of where, again, I'm trying to get to these levels. It's going to take a minute because some of these legendaries, you got Jamar Chase, $3,500. Joe Burrow, $2,500. There's another Burrow for 14, right? That's a lot of freaking money to spend on moment, right? But that's the goal, is where I'm getting to. These are some amazing moments. The other thing is some of these are melts, which are multiple moments. The player melts are actually more than one moment kind of melted into an actual bigger moment. So it's more than one play. And again, team melt, right? Where the whole team is winning this. This was the conference championship where Evan McPherson won on that last minute field goal, right? So like that's a great moment. I would love to own that. I remember watching that on TV and everything. But here's Johnson's legendary, which I'm actually thinking about getting one of these days. Because again, one hell of a player. I love Chad Johnson. Ocho Cinco, my boy. Sam Hubbard was a reward for a challenge last year, right? Or like if the first 100 people that completed got either a Sam Hubbard or
Sam Hubbard moment. Go Sam Hubbard.
This is the fumble recovery against the Baltimore Ravens. Remember, he's got a bunch of moments, but like this is against that fumble recovery, which was like a game-changing, season-changing moment. They minted it and let it be released as part of a playbook reward, right? So like there's only 50 of those on the platform. That's a hell of a moment, right? So that's the fun part about this marketplace is you can go here and just look for whatever you want. And again, I think we've hit it pretty good. I know you have a lot of questions, but to keep it simple, do you have any top-level questions before we move on to second down?
Top level questions, no, but I would say no, but I'm mad at myself for not being more involved in this on a real level, because every time I look at it, every time I want to, like, I get it, I want to. I think the thing that's missing for me, and I wonder if you have any secret alpha on this, the gamification of getting the moments to create new moments and collect the moments, etc. Is there going to be any sort of, or have you heard any rumblings of any sort of tie-in with fantasy, where like if you have these moments in your wallet on this platform, we might open a small fantasy contest, and if you have a player from a debut moment and you have a legendary in your lineup, maybe it's like a multiplier, and everybody that participates and finishes will get a moment. Is there anything like that in the pipeline that might bring somebody like me who's like, okay, now I've got my cards, I've got my moments, now how do I make my moments fight your moments, theoretically?
That is already a thing. It's called OTM Rumble. Again, it's one of the things we'll talk about down the road. We got to build the blocks to get there, Jordan. But yes, OTM Rumble exists. And the way that it works is like a DFS lineup using your moments. So it'll say, pick your quarterback, and you can pick any quarterback of your moments that you think is going to score the most points. And then what happens is, because again, multiple people will have Pat Mahomes, right? Mm-hmm. You could have multiple people with the exact same lineup. And if you buy a lot of moments and collect the top guys, you might all have the same guys, right? So then the tiebreaker is lowest serial number, and they combine all your serial numbers together and give you a score that way. So whoever has the lowest total serial number wins, which is why in some cases buying a lower serial number might be better than a higher serial number, because it might break your tie. So it might be $1 more, but hey, it's a 3-digit serial number instead of 9,000 something. That could come in handy down the road. So we'll get into that. I love that. I love that question. Trust me, that's where we're going. But I want to make sure everybody understands all of this so that when we get there, all of this is useful and can be used to get that output. And again, because we don't have games right now, it's tough to show. It's not something you can just pull up. They don't have it available right now. So when we do talk about it, it'll have to be a little bit more nebulous, not as much showing, but talking. But yes, there is a definite thing for that. They also do things with the playbook sometimes related to moments, saying, submit the moment of the player that had the most yardage last week, or the player that had the most passing yards or the most passing touchdowns or whatever. And at that point, then you can be like, well, I want to have players that generally have a lot of passing yards. So let me go get Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen and all this. So
that makes sense.
It's all part of the gamification. The better players are worth more money, right? That's how it should be.
You know what we should do or think about in the future is maybe putting together a little infographic sheet, where these are some things, these are some common, how common moments are you burned at this rate, or, you always maybe have like one or two rare sitting around, kind of like we could kind of prep our guys for the incoming. So when they need a moment, they don't have to jump on the marketplace and go buy one at an increased price, for instance.
And again, I know I keep harping on this, but I feel like that's what I've been saying for the last few shows. Even now's a great time to buy in. You can get $2 moments. You can get $2 moments right now. Go buy $2 moments, and you can call them firewood. You can burn those moments. That's not a problem, right? But you kind of hit on something else I want to talk about here. So let's say we just search for not even players. Let's search for position. We're going to search for quarterbacks, and let's say I've only got $25 to spend on a quarterback, right? And I want it to be a debut because those badges are usually worth a little bit more. Let's see what we got for quarterbacks up to $25 that have an all-day debut badge, just to kind of see. And this is going to go from highest to lowest, so it's going to show the $25 quarterbacks at the top of this list, right? You got
Ooh,
PJ
you're
Walker.
rare. PJ
Here's
Walker.
a PJ. This PJ Walker, if you recall, this was I have this moment. I love this moment. This moment was the one he had that long bomb to DJ Moore at the end of the game that won the game against the Falcons.
Yep,
Great
I
play.
remember that.
Terrific
That was like
play.
the very last
right?
play of the game, wasn't it? Or pretty dang
Yep,
close.
and they gave PJ Walker the moment, not DJ Moore, which a lot of us in the Discord were upset about. We're like, that should be a DJ Moore moment because he caught the ball, right? But no, PJ Walker earned it with that throw. Then you got Joe Burrow. Look at this. A common Joe Burrow debut for $20. It's a common. 10,000 of these, and it's worth $20. Well, that's a good moment, right? Brett Favre doesn't have a ton of future utility, right? Brett Favre is not in the league, but still $18. It's a 4,000 mint moment. Then you got Josh Allen right here, $17. So if you're looking to think about this like from a fantasy standpoint, these are what the top quarterbacks are going for in fantasy right now. And they're common moments out of 10,000, but you still have a $17 moment that you can pull in a pack. And you got Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields. Obviously, this Jordan Love is seeing a price increase right now because a lot of people were burning his moments, and now that makes it more rare, right? Because he's got more burns than these other guys.
Oh, wow. And you have to think, okay, so let's say, for instance, scroll down to another Joe Burrow moment. Is there another one?
Well, there aren't any because I filtered by debut. These are just debut.
Oh, so there's only one debut moment.
There's only one debut moment. Okay. So that one moment that is the first moment on the blockchain is considered their debut. So this is Joe Burrow's first ever moment on the platform, right? And it's kind of like a rookie card, but not a rookie card, right?
No,
so that's kind of what makes it different. So if we take that all-day debut out of this and just say, show me any QB. Let's just look at all the QBs and say, I want to get a good QB for potential fantasy work, right? Now you can see you got Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, Taysom Hill, like all these other guys, because they do put Taysom Hill as a QB in this, which I think is smart. Because again, it is a rushing play, but he's a passer. Tannehill, Patrick Mahomes, right? $21 for a common Pat Mahomes. Move the chains against the Bengals, my team last year. So again, like you can see, there's a lot of fun players in here. There's another Mahomes, another Cousins, right? So like you can go in here and buy your players that you like. That is not a problem. And I think too, there are some other options. If we again searching low to high, just to stay with us for one more minute. Let's say I'm going to go in here and buy the cheap quarterbacks. Who can I get for cheap? Well, look at this $2 Kyler Murray moment. Kyler Murray for $2.
Overpriced. Yes, me.
Underpriced, man. He could still be something. Either way, look at it. Matt Ryan, not in the league anymore, but maybe he comes back. Jacoby Brissett, maybe he starts week. $2, man. You're risking very little, and that's a debut, right? So, like the point of this is you can go in here and shop for what you like, what you think is going to happen. If, for instance, if you think CJ Stroud's going to bust and you think Davis Mills is going to be the guy, this rookie debut moment, this rookie mint debut moment is $3. Davis Mills.
Triple tag.
Go and buy it. Watch that rise, right? That's the whole point. So, again, it's up to you how you want to spend your money, of course. We're not telling you anything you don't know, but use this marketplace wisely. I think it's a great way to help shop around and just sort of see what's out there and see what's available in the market. Any other questions on that before we move on? I know we went into pretty good detail there.
No, yeah, I think we covered first, second, third down pretty quick, all in one big play there. We just took the whole field.
Kind of, yeah. We're going to be hitting. Yeah, we're going to be hitting these others pretty short.
My question would maybe be or maybe we'll do it in a separate, smaller video, which actually might be a good utility video, just to walk people through buying a moment. Let's say you don't want to buy a pack. Let's say you don't want to do a playbook. But let's say you're like, you just saw a moment. Let's say it's your second cousin and he gets a sack. I don't know who he is, whatever. And you're like, I'm going to go buy my cousin's sack. We should walk people through. All right, you get your debit card out. You go to this website. You punch these numbers in. They're going to ask you some questions. Just walk it through and just, boom, get that moment kind of set up for somebody.
I was actually thinking about trying that for this episode too and using your wallet as something to do that with. But then I was like, well, maybe I don't mind doing it with mine either. But I mean, I'm with you in doing that as an episode down the road. I agree. I think setting up the wallet is something we need to get more detail on. But I wanted to make sure people know why they're setting up the wallet before we do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. That was my only other thing. Maybe the short video, maybe we can do it later in the week. There's a 5-minute, 10-minute walkthrough step. And then the other thing is I want to do badges. I just want to know.
Yes.
I think we should do a badge, totally badge related show. I don't know if you have, I'm sure you have that in the pipeline, but I'm interested in the badges and sort of like badge hierarchy, badge rarity, badge scarcity, whatever.
We can talk about them. There isn't that much about them, unfortunately. There isn't that much. I mean, there is some things about them and they all mean different things, but rarity is a weird one. So, but yeah, we can definitely talk about it.
So that's all. That's the only question I have. We're like right at 30 minutes. So I think we hit a lot of really good stuff.
I think we covered a lot. Yeah.
I feel like I learned a lot. It's almost like waivers, you know what I mean? When you're just looking, but everybody's available. So it's just like, okay, like what and who do I think is going to add the most value to my team?
And again, down the road, we'll get into OTM a little bit more and we'll talk about Sniper and all of that, which we're going to leave for another episode. But OTM is a third-party application that connects into All Day. So Own the Moment is a company that is related to Dapper and kind of related to that blockchain, but otmnft.com, they actually have a lot of utilities and tools that you can use in a much more detailed way. And again, that's like a level 2, level 3 kind of class. We'll get there, trust me. But I think at this point, I just want to make sure that people understand why this exists, what the basics are, and then we'll get into the details of how, so that you can actually manipulate a lot of this stuff a little bit better, a little bit quicker. But with that, I think we've covered first down, and let's even call it second down with a lot of that. Let's move into third down, which I know is the exciting part of the show, which is opening a pack. We're going to open another pack. I know people loved that last week when we did it. So I want to make sure that we do that again, because it is a fun time. I mean, it's just, you never know what you're going to get. So we're going to do this again. It's another hot route pack. There are 4 moments in this pack.
So real quick, before we do you want me to pull us up like this? Or do you want me to pull us up like this?
Yeah, perfect.
This one? All right. I think you can still hear
either one. Either one. Either one's fine. So
let's just do this one.
We got this hot route pack, right? We'll do this one. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm click. I already got it loaded. I already got it claimed and all that stuff. All we got to do is open it at this point.
Actually, I'm going to put us in here so we can see our reaction.
This is the actual. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. So again, we got 4 moments in this pack. I just do a quick scroll over. They look to all be commons because they're all coming up white. Sometimes I've seen legendaries come up white too, which is just really funny. But let's reveal these one at a time and see what kind of players we got in this pack today. Got us a common, Dameon Pierce, rookie mint, rookie year, Series 2 from November 3rd.
That could be good.
Let's see what this play is. It is a rush. Dameon Pierce was a beast last year, by the way. Look at that. Cutting inside, getting down the field, making players miss. Just keep on rumbling and bumbling, stumbling there, Dameon Pierce. I like that. That's a good moment. That's a good moment.
That is a dang good moment. And he's one of those players where his trajectory and the narrative and his career is pretty much only going to go up. So
I would think, I don't think they did anything in the draft. Yeah.
No, they added Singletary, but it's funny because Singletary runs a lot like him. He's got a good contact balance. He's just a little smaller. So I think they're going to be an interesting one, too. I think they'll complement each other really well. But
again, you get all those different angles of that play with the red helmets. I know people love the color rush. Like, again, that's just something that I'm always been like kind of a big fan of. So again, it replays the moment for you again. You can watch it later, of course, in your collection, but there it is. Bam, added. Let's reveal the second moment. Let's see what we got here. Looks like a defensive play. Nope, Saquon Barkley with a rush. It's a playoff out of 5,000 common. This is number 2004. It's a pretty good serial number. I like that. Oh, what a run.
Wow.
Barkley to the house, as always, my friend. That was a great game. My goodness. I remember that game. That was a terrific game. The Giants were not supposed to win that, and they just came into Minnesota's house and dominated. And it was kind of a comeback, too, from what I recall, but just what a game. So, again, great moment. I love that. That was a playoff moment from this past, January. That was really recent. Barkley got that.
Oh, yeah, that's
the finish. And it starts over. When it gets to this, that's when you know that the moment on the platform is done. Let's see what we got for the third one here. Give me something good. Ooh. Samaje Perine, one of my favorite players. I love Samaje. I'm so sad he's not on the Bengals anymore. But look at this. Against the Browns. Takes it inside. Where'd he go? Nope. He's alive. We're getting there for a touchdown. God, I was at that game. My wife and I both were actually at that game. That was right after Joe Burrow's birthday. Hell of a series.
Wow.
Hell of a game. Hell of a win.
Way to break a tackle there.
Burrow's first win against the Browns. You got to love when that happens. Just a great game. And again, Perine with a terrific run. Again, not a debut, not a rookie, but a hell of a run, hell of a play. I'm always happy to have more Perine moments in my collection. Let's see what we got for this last one over here. Another common. And this one's looking like a defensive player, Kevin Byard, right? Interception. So Las Vegas. Derek Carr getting ready to throw. Nope. Right at the end zone. Bounced up. Byard gets it and he runs it out. Where is he going? Oh, man, look at this. He is just getting there. Gets way back out to the 20. Undoes all of the potential terrifyingness of taking the ball out of the end zone. But Waller just gets leveled there.
Woo, fingertip
with the hands. Look, he still doesn't quite have it. He's still juggling. There he goes.
That's a moment.
Pulls it in and decides to run it. Love that moment. That's a great moment. So again, if you're a Titans fan or you're Kevin Byard's cousin, right? That's when you're like, I want to go buy that one. So again, this is the fun of these pack openings. You get all 4 of these moments in this one pack. It's just exciting to rip them and see what you get. We got one playoff moment. We got one rookie mint, rookie rare with rookie mint, rookie year with Dameon Pierce. The other 2 are just standard commons. Again, I've got them already, but it's so much fun. It's such a good time. And that is ripping a pack. Whew. Kind of exciting. Before we finish, I would be remiss if we didn't mention our moment of the week. That was third down, of course. our moment of the week this week, I'll bring it up. It is a defensive moment. I picked it for you. Actually, I got defensive a couple times. I want to make sure we mention the defensive guys as much as we can on this show, especially, again, being the IDP, but going both ways. We talked a lot about offense earlier. This is our moment of the week. It's Jaquan Brisker, legendary. This is, again, from my own collection. This is one of the best moments I own. I don't know if you guys remember this play at all. This is a great interception. It was Jaquan Brisker's first interception, I think. But also, this was the play where the ball hit the cable. And they show an angle of it here, which is pretty nice coming up, where the look at that. Does the ball hit the cable? Does it get deflected by the cable? We don't know. And they just looked at it on the stands, looked at it on the field and everything, and said, no, it did not change the course of the play. So the play stands, the interception holds. But one hell of a play. I remember when that happened, I'm like, ooh, I don't know. That might have hit the cable. They showed it again. I'm like, it might hit the cable. And they actually show the cable in the moment here, which I love, because that was the part that I loved about that moment. And again, one of my favorite moments, one of my more expensive moments, but I love this moment. And again, this is a legendary. You can go get these on the marketplace right now. You'll notice here, this is a low ask of $589 right now. It's $589 to buy it. If you scroll down, you can see I bought it for $339 5 months ago.
There you go.
So I've already made like $250 on this moment if I wanted to sell it right now. But I'm good to hold. That's the benefit of this, is that you can see these moments rise in value and kind of watch them as they get better. Obviously, not every moment does that, but legendaries are a really interesting way to invest if you can buy low, sell high.
Yeah. And just from, since I'm an IDP head, I can tell you, Jaquan Brisker is a guy you want a moment. I mean, he's the new Derwin James. He's the new Minkah Fitzpatrick. Rookie moment, legendary moment. That's the kind of moment that if he gets all pro next year, if the Bears do well, you could be sitting on easily over a grand moment like that. You know what I mean?
Well, and it has a lot of utility in the playbooks and stuff too, because there's a lot of times you can submit a legendary to kind of get out of a lot of the comments, and you can there's an option. You can just say, hey, I've got a legendary defensive all-day debut. Let me submit that. And instead of submitting 10 comments, I can submit that. So yeah, that's our moment of the week. Jaquan Brisker, Series 2 rookie revelation. Covered a lot here today, but I wanted to make sure I mentioned a marketplace moment that I bought on the marketplace. And you can see the value rise when you do that. So, Jordan, before we wrap it up, any questions, anything else you want to talk about regarding the marketplace today? Or do you feel like you've had a pretty good set already and are ready to hit that marketplace yourself?
I feel like I'm definitely more well-versed in it. I know what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? It's, you familiarize myself with it. The layout, the kind of the filtering system was really awesome to see. So I feel a lot better about it in general. And, like I said, when I do finally sort of exit some other positions and kind of go into my NFT into the all day, put that into the wallet for Dapper and go over there, I definitely have an idea of what I would be looking for a lot more. And I know how to navigate it more smoothly now. Like I said, before it was just like particular players, but now I know to look for certain badges on players, look for certain serials on players. So it's just that layering that knowledge that you've already helped me kind of lay that foundation of. So yeah, I feel a lot more capable next time I go to the market with a little cash in my pocket. So yeah, I think this was a really, really good episode. Honestly, I think it's one that I'm going to refer back to often. I wonder if the people will feel the same way, but that's all I got. I appreciate you, man. Andrew, this has been a great show. A little longer than we wanted, but I know we got another one to do, but I'll let you take.
We got excited. That's all. It happens. Exciting happens. And again, the marketplace is probably the most fun you're going to see, because it's just where you can go get whatever you want. It's just a fun time. So definitely check the marketplace out. Tag us on Twitter at All Day Both Ways. If you have questions, if you have comments, if you want to talk about different things and say, hey, what about this? What about that? How do I do this? I'm always available on that, and at Andrew Hall FF. I know, Jordan, you're at 50 Shades of Drunk, which is always available if you have questions for the newbie side. But here we're talking about it both ways, from an experienced and a rookie in a sense. And that's how we roll. So again, thank you so much for joining us this episode. We'll be back soon with another one to teach you a little bit more about NFL all day. Have a good day.
Take her easy, y'all. And be sure to subscribe to the pod if you are watching on the YouTube channel. We have 4 pods on the feeds, but NFL all day both ways is probably going to be your favorite one. All right, later.